Sure. Go ahead.
So when you want to either when you're recording or you're hosting a meeting and you want to have one person who's the speaker or someone that's spotlighted for that section of the meeting, and you don't want someone to be able to cough and interrupt it, you never want to use speaker view, because speaker view, anyone who makes the most noise shows up as the speaker. So what you want to do instead is click on the three dots. So let's say that I was a guest speaker and I was going to do my presentation for however many minutes. You would click on the three dots by my name, and you would have two options. You have pin and you have spotlight for everyone. What you want to use is spotlight for everyone, because if you do pin, it just shows for you, and which is great for the recording, but it doesn't make them speaker view for everyone. And if you do spotlight for everyone, it forces everyone to see just that screen and then the little pictures of everyone else.
Okay, now what if there's no spotlight on here that I can see?
Are you doing it on yourself or on me?
I'm doing it on you.
There's no spotlight for everyone.
Dots on your page.
It might be because there's only two of us on here.
Oh, but normally will spotlight come on?
Yeah, it'll say spotlight for everyone. So basically, okay. Or you can just do pin, and pin will just, for the recording. So you're the one controlling the recording. So for the recording, that person will be pinned as the speaker and no one else can interrupt. And then when that person's finished with their section, you unpin them and you go pin the next person.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise I use spotlight and it will do it for me.
Not automatically. You have to do it for each person that you want to spotlight. Okay. So if you want to spotlight yourself, you can spotlight yourself. And the benefit of that versus speaker is, if you do speaker, like I said, whoever's making the most noise, coughing, car horn, dog barking, sneezing, whoever has the most noise pops into the screen, and you don't want that. The other thing you can do is mute everyone, but people always unmute themselves.
Yeah, they always. Daryl Lee says she has to sit there and mute. And I'm wondering, there's got to be a way.
There is a mute all. You can mute all.
Yeah, but then you mute the speaker.
Yeah, but then you just unclick theirs. That's easy.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just say, hold on a second while I mute everyone. And then you mute everyone, and then you uncheck whoever's speaking and yourself or whatever.
And they can unmute themselves when you do mute all.
That's another option.
Unmute themselves.
They can, unless you check the box that they can't. So if you open the chat, or I'm sorry, the participant screen. So click on participants at the bottom. Mm-hmm. You will see, I can't see it because I'm not a co-host right now, but you will see three dots down to at the bottom of the participant screen. Do you see that?
I see more, I see mute all, and I see invite.
Okay, so click on more. And you should see a little list that says allow people to unmute themselves, allow or mute people on entry. So what I always do is I do mute people on entry, so no one can come in with their stuff on. And then if I'm recording something and there's a section I want quiet on, I will I will uncheck allow people to unmute themselves temporarily. And then when you're ready to let them talk again, you can click allow them to unmute themselves, and then people can do it again. Okay. But if you want a quiet recording, you mute everybody and then unmute the speakers, and then check that box or uncheck the box that says allow them to unmute, because that will stop them from making any noise.
It says allow participants to unmute themselves. We would definitely uncheck that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what about the one that has start video? What does that mean? Allow participants to start a video.
That means this. So if you turn that off, they can't turn their camera on.
Okay. So in other words, we don't want them to be.
So you can force everyone to keep their cameras off and not be able to talk while you're presenting, and then you can turn those checks back on, and then they can all come on screen and unmute themselves if they want to or whatever.
But what is the start video? What is that check? When I have that check,
that's this versus this. So I just stopped my video and now I started my video.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Right.
And that should be checked, right? Because mine's checked.
Yours is always, you have power to do whatever you want. But when you're talking about the participants, everyone else, anyone who's a co-host or a host has control over themselves. They can do whatever they want. Okay, but for all the people watching, you want to make sure that if you want a quiet recording and you don't want people to jump on screen with you, then you can uncheck the option to unmute themselves and to turn their video on. And that way nobody can do anything.
Okay, so if I'm correct, if I'm understanding this right,
Mhm.
I'm going to check the start video, uncheck the start video so that they can't
And
start.
then you can go into the participants list, and anyone who's on video, you can click on their, like, if
Yeah,
you click on the 3 dots next to my name, or not the 3 dots, you click on the camera next to my name, you can turn my camera off for me. And then if you have it unchecked that I can't turn it back on, then I'm not going to interrupt your meeting.
okay.
Make sense? So
Okay.
you can have a lot of control in meetings. You just have to take a second and set it up.
Yep. And I didn't know about those things. And I
Mhm.
just thought, well,
It really helps to keep control over your presentation portion of the meeting. And then when you're doing Q&A, you can check those again and people can unmute or turn their cameras on or whatever.
well, this is great for Darilee because,
Yeah.
she's busy trying to keep track
Oh
of
yeah,
people
for sure.
quiet. Now that I can show her this,
Uh,
she doesn't have to work so hard
yeah,
because, she goes crazy trying to keep control over the meeting. And I
yeah.
thought, okay, is there anything else on here that you use that I should know about for Zoom
Those
meetings?
are the main things. I do the mute all and the unchecking their options to mute, and the muting on entry is super important because they come in muted instead of coming in with their microphone on, which a lot of them do without meaning to.
Without meaning to.
And inevitably it's
That
somebody in
happen
their
all the
car.
time.
Yeah.
And the TV's going, the what's
Yeah.
going, the dog's
Yeah.
barking, and, we have people coming, like Emily Ruth. I mean, she comes in that way all the time.
Well, it's because they don't know. They're not very tech savvy and they don't know. The other thing that is just a note to self for Darilee and yourself, if you're watching the participants and you hear noise, that person who is unmuted is at the top of the list.
Yes.
Everyone below them is all muted. So anyone that unmutes pops to the top. So you never have to scroll down. You can just mute them. But the easiest way is just to, okay, we're going to set up for the recording portion. I'm going to mute all of you guys and everybody turn your cameras off. And if they don't, you turn them off for them. And then you uncheck the option to change that so they can't come back on. And then it's silence in the room. And then when you guys are done, you guys can turn that, Darilee or you can turn that option back on, and then it's no problem. Then people
So
can
when we had Carolee on, Carolee said that somebody, and it was probably Bronwyn. I thought maybe it was me, but I don't belch. But somebody belched.
Oh
And Bronwyn,
no.
so we're having our little planning meeting. Bronwyn said, it was me. I
Ah.
belched a lot.
Oh my goodness.
She goes, it's probably me, I do. And I'm going, I didn't think that I belched, but then I thought I had my little drink here and I thought maybe
Yeah, you never, I mean, maybe you did.
I thought maybe that was what, and I said, no, she said, no, it was a belch.
That's really
We got
funny.
a lot of laughs out of that one. We really did.
Yeah.
Oh, Lori, this has been an absolutely great call.
Yeah, no problem.
And, like I say, I think that I paid for a couple of calls. Can you let me know?
Yeah, I'll go back and look. It's been a
Go
while.
back and look, I know. And
Yeah.
tell me what, because I thought I had bought a couple of coaching
Yeah.
calls. Because
Yeah, I
I
think you
want to
did.
continue. I like the coaching calls. I really
Yeah.
do. So, and then anything that you want me to post on WhatsApp about registering, about anything to support your conference, will you let me know, please?
Yeah, the main thing is it's just www.boldbeautyconference.com, and I'll put that in WhatsApp for you.
Okay, good.
It's all virtual now. There's no in person, and it's only $99 per ticket, and it includes a lifetime access to the replay. So even if they can't be there live or they can't watch every session or whatever, they still have lifetime access. And then because I knew some people would cheat and do this anyway, I created a leader group thing where people can fill a room. So if they want to have their team over to their house and watch the training, they can buy a group ticket, which is $2.99. So everyone can pitch in $5 or $10 or whatever. And then they can, for people who either can't afford the 99 and their leader can do that, then they can get a leader ticket, which gives them permission to share it at their house or whatever.
Okay, that's a
because all of the content's copyrighted. So I talked to some of the other speakers. I was like, okay, how can we do this in a way that works for people who want to get their team to come to their house and talk about it and watch together and, all of that, but also make sense for you guys. So that's what we came up with.
I think that's a great idea. That's just a great idea.
Yeah. So whether it doesn't have to be a leader, it could be like Susie and her 5 Jaffa besties, they could get together at Susie's house and they can still watch the Zoom together. And some people like stream it onto their TVs or whatever, from their phones or whatever it is, and that's fine. But they can do that with permission instead of
Okay,
me
so
going,
if
that's
I
not
pay
okay.
the $2.99, then I could have a Zoom group come on or not?
No, not like that. It's more like,
Do I have
the
to
Zoom
open
group,
an
that's
account? I'm paying
no.
$2.99 for so many people that can be with me or not? No?
Um,
I thought, what's the
well, I don't
what
think
does
it
the
works like that,
what does
because
the $2.99 do?
it's like if you want to have a bunch of your team come to your house and watch together. Like because like there's a lot of people, there's an Oregon group that does that. I know Pat Clover
Okay,
does that. Like those guys, they all get, like, they have their team come over and they have team training and whatever. And that way it allows them to do that with permission instead of me saying you can't do that with a ticket because you bought a single ticket. And it's just like anything else you're purchasing online. Normally it's a one use, one person, you're purchasing it for yourself. But this allows you to show it to your team and stream it there.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because I don't think you can join our Zoom and Zoom your Zoom. I don't think that works.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to ask because I didn't know.
Yeah. But that's just what I did. And it can be groups of consultants or a leader and their consultants or whatever.